Hey guys, it's Tara. I want to talk to you more about the neck without talking so much about the neck. So last week and the week before, we talked about how to engage the back neck muscles. So often most of us are really tight around the sides and the front, and what we can do to help that is engage the back muscles, the back posterior neck muscles. So I had you lie on the floor, press your head into the floor and lift the chin. You can imagine doing this with your hand or even against the wall. Engaging the back of the neck is huge. It will help soften the throat, soften the sides of the neck. So that's a huge, huge component. If you haven't seen those, maybe check them out later, but you can still apply this. So the other part of the neck are the shoulders and the arms. So what they're doing greatly contributes to what you feel here. If your neck or your shoulders are way up here and it's just extra, extra tight, what we can do to kind of counteract that is to begin to engage other parts of the shoulder, other parts of the arms. So this is overworked. This is underworked. For example, if you were to take your arms out to the sides and shake them, most of us have this like loveliness here. It's super fun, flattering. So if you were to just shake it away, notice how much it moves, how much it jiggles. The arms, the hands are like totally free and everything's soft, right? And most of the time what's happening is this is kind of overworking. So we want to get to a point where we can shake the arm with this being tone. So if you were to be here, all of a sudden there's no shaking, right? There's at least less shaking. So what I'm doing is engaging the posterior side of the arm, underneath the arm, and underneath the shoulder. What that's going to do is the same thing it did for the neck. When we engage the back, it softens what's overworking. So now the other piece is engaging under the arm into the lats, engaging up even into the armpit and softening the traps, right? So those guys overwork way too much. So today we're just going to talk about how to do that, and then next week we'll get more into a practice and how to put it all together. So I'm just going to give you like little pieces of that today. So starting with the hands lifted, I want you to curl one finger in at a time, but not into a fist. So we're not going into a tight fist like so. We're not getting into a fight, hopefully, today. So instead curl one finger in at a time, starting with the pinky. And then as the fingers come in, they don't touch. So there's space, about a finger width space in between each and every finger. The thumb is going to rest on top of the pointer finger, and it's almost like you're aiming a remote. Push the thumb out away from you. That will engage the top line of the body. What's going to get the underneath is the pinky pulling back. The pinky pulls back towards the body. And if you're weak under here, you can engage and pull the pinky towards you as the thumb presses out. So it's this kind of engagement. There's a little lift underneath the wrist, a little bend in the elbow. So my elbow isn't, I know the lighting is not great on this. The elbow isn't locked forward. It's my elbow locked, but there's like a little bend. And then there's also a hollow underneath the armpit. So armpits, yeah. So here are my armpits soft. This is kind of what it looks like without me doing anything. I'm just lifting my arm from the top, not engaging the bottom at all. My armpit is kind of naturally a little bit hollow. That's kind of what it looks like with no engagement. Here's this guy for you. So this is what my natural armpit looks like. Everyone's is a little different, obviously. But when I engage the hands and I press the thumbs away, pull the pinkies towards me, and then press down with your arms as if you're trying to get out of a pool. That's the best visual I can give you, as if you have to press down to lift the body up. They go in opposition. if you're climbing up a big rock and you have to press down to get the body up, that's what we're doing. We need to engage underneath, so press down. So again, curl one finger in at a time, thumb points away from you, pinky pulls towards you. The hands can stay here with the palms facing each other, or you can rotate the palms down. Either way, push the arms away from you. Make the space longer from the knuckle to the back. So I'm not just here, I'm pushing forward, lengthening my arm, and now push down to rise the chest up. Not just the front of the chest, but the entire rib cage, right? All right, now look at the difference in the armpit. It's very different shaped. The front is engaged, the back is engaged. You can even grab it, take a hold of it. Your thumb should be able to go way up in your armpit. Very, very different shape in the armpit as opposed to, it's so hard with the lighting, from here to here, right? So here to here, yeah? Okay, so that is what we want in all of our standing poses. Anytime our arms are out, they're not just lazily out. We're not just kind of making the shape. Anytime we're kind of floating here, it's not just, this is what I look like more relaxed. Now if I push down and push out, but also I'm lifting up, it's like the arms are fully engaged. You can see all of a sudden the lats are engaged, underneath the arm is engaged. If you were to press it, it's tone and strong as opposed to that loveliness. So difference between, you know, soft and strong. So it's not like we have to walk around all day like so, but learning to engage under here will help your neck tremendously. If you can't find it here, I'm going to give you a couple other ways you can find it. You can bring the hands to meet, so same seat hands, curl one finger in at a time, thumb comes on top, and then put these two knuckles to meet the center of the pointer fingers. The thumbs are still pressing towards each other. Now you're not going to press your hands together so much that it hurts. Don't do that. But press them together enough that you can almost lift and tone these lats here, right? Press them into each other. Now pull the hands towards the belly. And then we'll try a couple pulses. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, rise. Keep the throat long. Neck is long. Arms are toned. If you can't feel it here, another great option is to work with a block. Yeah, grab a block, squeeze it towards each other. Squeeze, let go. Squeeze, let go. Squeeze, let go. Hopefully you can feel this working. That's what we want with less pressure in the wrist. So ideally you can find it with the block. And then once you have it, we can take the pressure out of the wrist by keeping the wrist long. Another option is you can bring the fingernails to touch. So not the finger pads here, but the fingernails. The pinky may not touch. My pinkies aren't quite long enough. I can make them touch, but it changes the shape of my wrist. So I prefer almost like the ribs. They're just floating. There's a hollow in the palm, just like a hollow in the armpit. So the outer edges of the hand will squeeze in towards each other. The fingers are long. They're not collapsed, they're not in, they're not locked. So fingers really long. Try to mimic the armpit hollow. Same hollow, like look how far my finger can press in as opposed to, like we're trying to, if you could hold a tablespoon of water in your palm, that's what we're going for, right? Same idea here. All right, so moving to the floor. Once you have that, let me see, I'm on a weird setup today. Let me see if I can get this. Sorry guys. Last little bit on the floor. So we talked about the palm here. Same idea when you're on your mat. So same exact idea. I want you to think about the outer edges of the palm squeezing in, and you're gonna squeeze here all the way over to here. as the hands are down, press the finger pads down. The fingers aren't super wide, they're more cupping like this. And then you can find a gentle pulse forward and back, making sure the shoulders do not go past the wrist. Elbows have to press wide here. If the elbows become narrow, all of a sudden I feel it immediately in my wrist. So press the elbows wide, push the ribs up, and then all of a sudden you can feel the lat super strong, super engaged. You can press your thumb up into your armpit, right? A little pulse forward and back. Pull the hands towards the knees. See if you can tone not only the belly, but the back of the arm too. Another exercise we can do is just little pulses in the hands. So I'm lifting the heel of the hand and pressing the finger pads down. This knuckle right here, for me, has a tendency to lock. We don't want any of them to. So keep an eye on your knuckles, on your hands. Make sure all of the joints are really soft. Ideally, no joint is locked and locked in any way. All right. Find your pulse forward and back. Widen the elbows, widen the ribs, and see if you can keep the neck really long as you pulse forward and back. Have you lost the back of the arms? Go back to the back of the arms. Engage, soften, breathe. Notice what's overworking and see if you can soften that. Option to tuck your toes, lift the knees, make this a little bit stronger without losing the back of the arms. Keep your focus on the back of the arms for today. Press the elbows wide, press the finger pads down, squeeze the heels of the hands in towards each other. Keep the ribs lifted. Keep the neck long even as the hips sit back. Cool, bring the knees down without dropping the ribs, little pulses. All right, another one that I like, come to a seat, monkey in a barrel kind of hands, Hercules grasp, whatever you want to call it. Top hand comes, and then I'm not pulling the hands apart with so much force it hurts my hands, but I'm pulling more with the elbows, toning the back of the arms, little pulses here. And you can feel the back of the arms working. Switch the hands. And today is just about kind of reawakening that part of the arm. Next week we're gonna get more into some more movement, but today I just want you to find it because it's tricky to find those areas that have been asleep for a while, right? Like they've been asleep for a good while for most of us. So yeah, awakening is a challenge sometimes. Reach out with any questions you may or may not have. Or I guess if you don't have them, don't reach out. But let me know how this feels for you, and if you still have trouble finding those muscles, I can get more into things with you in class. So, all right, good to see you all. Have a good day. All right, bye.